With the Ancient Gods Part 2 right around the corner, Hugo Martin has been doing a lot of live streams talking to fans about the new upcoming content in it. He's confirmed that there's going to be new demons in the DLC, which I'm personally really excited for. One of the confirmed ones is the Screecher, and the Screecher is supposed to be, what Hugo calls it, a new chess piece on the chessboard. Something that you don't want to kill. And what this demon does is, it was described as a zombie demon that walks around the arena, and if shot, will send basically a buff totem wave around to all the enemies around it. And you probably wouldn't want to deal with that, especially since you can't just find the buff totem spawn and just destroy it right away. It's something that's an AoE. They've also confirmed a demon called the Big Boy, and the things that immediately come to my head when I think about that is the drawing that we've seen of the Dark Lord, and honestly I don't really know how he'd move around the stage, especially since they say this is a very engaging demon to fight with. But another idea that I had is the Spider Mastermind, and I know that was done in Doom 2016 for the final boss, but I honestly wouldn't mind seeing that again in the arenas, because back in Doom 2, we had the classic level where the demon and the cyber demon and the Spider Mastermind fought against each other. And honestly, that was really cool to see, and it would be kind of cool to see it brought back in Doom Eternal as kind of like a little Easter egg, seeing the Spider Mastermind fight the Tyrant. Also, the animations for that would be so cool, seeing the gigantic Spider Mastermind run around the arenas. Because when I already saw the Arachnotron's upgrades, my jaw literally dropped when I saw the Arachnotrons crawling around on the ceilings. That's just something that my younger me would have been so happy to see, because the Arachnotron is one of my favorite Doom enemies. And for the third demon, we still have no idea what kind of demon it might even be. Some people online have proposed that the Chain Gunner would be added back, because, I mean, the weapon is still in the game, but he's one of those enemies from Doom 2 that just kind of feels left out, honestly. And with Kromsferatu's art on Reddit, he showcased that the Chain Gunner could also have a goo launcher on his back, giving him some complexity to the game where wherever he shoots, you're not going to be able to step for a little bit, because that's going to completely slow you down and you just get destroyed and completely crowded, which would also keep players engaged and staying in the air. But another idea that was brought up with the Chain Gunner is, since we're getting a new weapon in the game, what if we got the goo launcher? Now hear me out, I know it sounds kind of weird, but they said that it's a weapon that completely changes how you play, and you're gonna not want to play the game without it once you play with it. Now, what I think he could mean by that is something that stuns, or something that does something in the game that's completely unique against what we've had. And we already have a grenade launcher, so I can't imagine that they do anything like that. Some other people have brought up the railgun from Quake, but I think that the Warhammer, like Midnight said, because they said it's a weapon we've already seen in the game, is probably the most likely answer. But personally, I'd like to see the Goo Gun, because paired with the Chain Gunner, it would really bring out a different level of complexity to the arenas, because you'd have to worry about the Chain Gunners shooting the goo all over the ground and slowing you down, which would also keep you in the air. But if you shoot the Goo Gun at the ground to keep other enemies stunned and locked in the goo, you will also have to walk slow in it yourself, which will be the trade-off. You can put enemies in it and group them together for big, massive amounts of damage, but the cost is you be filling the arena with something that would slow you down too. And if you mix that with Chain Gunners, the whole arena is basically gonna have a floor of toxic goo that you won't want to go on at all. So it'd kind of be like a counter thing to immediately introduce a weapon and have an enemy that that doesn't necessarily completely counteract it, but kind of counteracts it, and makes it so you don't always want to use it when those are around, because it makes the situation harder for you. And that's also kind of thinking like from another perspective of how they want the game to basically challenge you in different ways than just killing demons. Hugo Martin said he'll be taking us to new places, and after you finish the Blood Swamps in the Ancient Gods Part 1, that area looks like an H.R. Geiger-styled fourth-dimensional alien area, and honestly I want to see more of that in Doom Eternal, because you can clearly see the Thing reference, or inspiration, and creature reference, and total just gore and basically body mass covering everything. And H.R. Geiger's style fits that really, really well. having flesh and bones make up the structures around you. I can really see that fitting in Doom Eternal, and I'd honestly like to see more of that. And some of my ideas for the new DLC that I'm not quite sure would happen would be adding some more enemy variety in the case of maybe just a cosmetic look. Like, let us use the cosmetics from the game, or just add a couple more demon variations in there. Because the Baron of Hell got a pretty different color alteration from Doom 2016, and Doom 2016 was a pretty good recreation of the original one from the original Doom games. And speaking of like how the Mancubus and the Arachnotron, they all got their original designs brought back, to see that the Baron kind of got changed a little bit was kind of weird. Especially since we already have the Hell Knight, which looks completely different, which is more of a reference to like how they designed him in Doom 3. Not really a reference, but more of like an evolution of the design, because he was just a basic palette swap in the past. But since all the other characters got their designs kind of like lifted back from the past, it'd kind of be cool to see other demons get that same treatment. Like, maybe the Hell Knight can have a Bruiser equivalent, and they can make him work a little different. But something that's a little bit more, I guess, interactable is the Pinky Demon from Doom 3. Now, I know he doesn't seem like he'd be doing much different than the original Pinky that's already in Doom Eternal, but if you think about it this way, I might change your mind a little bit. So let's say you're in an arena, you're fighting a bunch of demons, and they're all throwing projectiles at you. There are demons that rush you, like the Pinky, but he does take a minute to start rushing you, and you can easily get out of his way by getting on something like a higher ledge or whatever. But what if we had a dog-type enemy? And that's where the Pinky fits in, because, I mean, when I watched the Doom movie, that thing basically acted like a dog, and in Doom 3, it walks around like it's a big mutt trying to get somewhere and eat someone. So I could totally see that being used in Doom Eternal to make a very aggressive Pinky. And by that, I mean, it still has the same mechanic of you having to shoot it in the back and having to, you know, take out that weak point. But the difference is, this Pinky is a lot faster, depending on if they use the wheel version or the other legs version, because that Pinky would constantly be in your face. He wouldn't have a time where he has to charge up his run. He would just constantly be in your face, and that would encourage players to have to use the remote detonation bomb. And see, that's where I'm getting with this. They would be using the remote detonation bomb and the frag grenades to get used to stunning enemies from behind, or at least just getting a better feeling of faltering enemies behind, knocking them towards you so you can just keep laying down the bullets on them. And with that Pinky, especially since you take out his back weak point, he would stop being able to run around and jump up ledges and stuff because you shot out his back legs with the remote detonation. And you wouldn't really just be able to jump over it like the Pinky and dash over it, because he would turn around immediately to just keep chasing you. And another difference with it would be he'd be able to jump on ledges and actually jump across them way quicker than any other demon. Like I said, he'd basically be acting like a dog that's out to kill you. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up all my ideas that I have for Ancient Gods Part 2. I didn't really have a script with this one because, I mean, I can't really think of a script for all the ideas I have. It kind of just flows out of my mind. But if you guys like this video, please leave a like and a comment, and any kind of criticism helps. I want to make some good content on this platform. Thank you for watching.